Most people think rest is just the absence of work. They imagine it as doing nothing, lying around, or escaping responsibility for a while. But that understanding is shallow. Real rest is not about avoiding effort. It's about restoring your ability to perform at your highest level. And when someone learns how to rest properly, it creates a level of clarity and energy that most people simply don't have. Think about how the average person operates. They wake up tired, push themselves through the day, distract themselves when they feel overwhelmed, and then collapse at night, hoping the next day somehow feels easier. It becomes a cycle of exhaustion and recovery that never fully resets. They're always slightly drained, slightly distracted, slightly behind their potential. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine someone who protects their energy with intention. Someone who knows when to push hard and when to step back. When they work, they focus deeply. When they rest, they actually recover. Their mind clears, their body resets, and their attention sharpens again. That kind of rhythm creates a huge advantage, because while most people are operating with half their energy, the person who understands recovery is operating with full capacity. Their thinking is sharper, their reactions are faster, their decisions are calmer and more precise. And here's where it becomes interesting. When people encounter someone who moves with that level of clarity and control, they often can't explain it. They just notice that this person seems composed, even under pressure. They seem alert when others are mentally drained. They handle problems with calm focus while everyone else feels overwhelmed. What they're witnessing isn't just discipline. It's the power of proper recovery. True rest is not lazy. It's strategic. It's the moment where your mind processes what you've learned, where your body rebuilds strength, and where your attention resets for the next challenge. But most people sabotage this process without realizing it. They finish work and immediately flood their mind with noise. Endless scrolling, constant messages, continuous stimulation. Their brain never truly shuts off. It stays overloaded long after the work is done. So even when they think they're resting, they're still draining themselves. Someone who understands this begins to move differently. They treat rest as part of performance. They step away from noise when they need clarity. They allow space for their mind to breathe. And the result is powerful. Because the person who masters recovery becomes incredibly difficult to outwork. Not because they push harder every hour of the day, but because when it's time to perform, they show up fully recharged, focused, and ready in a way most people simply aren't. One of the biggest misconceptions about high performers is that they are always working. People imagine relentless effort, constant activity, and endless hustle. But if you look closely at individuals who sustain excellence for years, you'll notice something different. They don't just work hard, they recover intelligently. They understand a simple truth most people ignore. Performance is a cycle. Effort, recovery, effort again. Break that cycle and the system collapses. When someone pushes non-stop without resetting their mind and body, their focus begins to fade. Small mistakes start appearing. Decisions become rushed. Emotions become reactive. What once felt sharp and controlled slowly becomes sloppy and exhausting. But the person who understands real recovery avoids that trap. They know when to step away before their performance drops. They know how to reset their attention so that when they return, they are operating at full capacity again. And that creates something powerful. Consistency. Not the forced kind where someone drags themselves through exhaustion. Real consistency, where every day they show up with clarity, patience, and control. This is where rest becomes an advantage, because while others burn themselves out trying to prove how hard they work, the person who manages their energy becomes far more effective. Their actions are deliberate. Their thinking is precise. They move forward without the constant friction of mental fatigue. Another important element is mental silence. Most people never allow their mind to become quiet. The moment there is space, they fill it with stimulation. Music, videos, notifications, conversations. Their attention is constantly pulled in different directions. But real recovery requires moments where the mind is not reacting to anything. Moments where your thoughts slow down and reorganize themselves. In those moments, something interesting happens. Ideas become clearer. Problems that felt complicated begin to simplify. Your brain starts connecting patterns you couldn't see when it was overloaded with noise. This is why some of the best insights people experience come during calm moments, while walking, resting, or simply sitting in silence. The brain finally has space to process. Someone who respects this process develops a different kind of mental strength. They become less reactive, less scattered, and more deliberate in everything they do. And when they return to their work, their focus becomes almost intimidating. Because while others are struggling to concentrate through exhaustion, this person arrives with a fresh mind, steady attention, and the patience to execute things properly. Over time, that difference compounds. One person is constantly drained and trying to catch up. The other is calm, clear, and steadily building momentum. And eventually, the gap between them becomes impossible to ignore. The final shift happens when you stop seeing recovery as a reward and start seeing it as preparation. Most people rest only after they feel completely exhausted. They wait until their energy is gone, their focus is broken, and their motivation has disappeared. By that point, recovery becomes slow and difficult. But someone who understands how to truly reset doesn't wait for collapse. They recover before the damage happens. They step away while their mind is still sharp. They allow their body to recharge before fatigue turns into burnout. And because of that, they maintain a level of stability that most people never experience. Think about the difference this creates over time. One person constantly runs on empty. They push themselves harder and harder just to maintain average results. Their attention drifts, their patience shrinks, and even simple tasks start feeling overwhelming. The other person protects their energy like it's a valuable resource. They work with intensity when it's time to work. But when it's time to reset, they disconnect completely. Their mind clears, their breathing slows, their thoughts settle. Then they return, not tired, not distracted, but focused and ready again. This rhythm builds something powerful: endurance. Not the kind where someone survives through exhaustion, but the kind where performance remains strong day after day. Their concentration lasts longer. Their emotions stay steady under pressure. Their decisions become sharper because their mind isn't constantly overloaded. And when people see someone operating with that level of calm strength, it stands out immediately. While others rush, panic, and scramble to keep up, this person moves with control. They don't appear overwhelmed. They don't seem desperate to prove anything. They simply handle things with quiet precision. That presence alone changes how people perceive them. Because the ability to remain steady while everyone else is stressed signals something powerful: control. Control over attention, control over emotion, control over energy. And that's where the real advantage begins. When your mind is clear and your energy is stable, you start noticing opportunities others completely miss. You make decisions without panic. You move forward without second-guessing every step. Momentum builds naturally. Over weeks, months, and years, that steady rhythm compounds into something formidable. While others burn out and restart repeatedly, you keep moving forward with consistent strength. That's the hidden power most people overlook. Rest is not the opposite of progress. It's what allows progress to continue without breaking you. And when you learn how to reset your mind and body properly, you gain something rare: the ability to keep going, calmly and powerfully, long after everyone else has run out of energy.